From every strand on the line of your reel, to the rods, to the anglers, to the lures on the end of your hook, let's talk about those big bass here on Co-Anglers Corner with your hosts, Rob Welch and John Stoutinger.
Good evening, everybody. I'm John Stoutinger.
Hi, y'all are. Cajun Rob here hanging out with you on the stormy night in Kentucky. Hope everybody's doing well.
Good. I'm doing okay. Had kind of a rough day today, but we're getting through it.
Absolutely, man. Glad to have you back, man. I felt like Robin without Batman last night.
I appreciate and I apologize, man.
You good, man. I got you 6, man. It's all good.
Appreciate it. All right. So you want to introduce the guest tonight?
Yeah, sure thing. It's one of my. I actually got to travel with this young man and had a lot of fun in Toyota Series a couple years back, and actually kind of traveled together a couple years in Toyotas, and known him for a while. Mr. Jared Kemper. He come up with an idea for a website, and it's called Diehard Anglers. And he's got some real innovative ideas, and he's just kind of starting out, but I think he's going to do well. Hey, how's it going, Jared? Good to see you, buddy.
Doing good, guys. How are you all tonight?
Doing well, man. Waiting on the snow, man.
Oh, it's coming.
Oh, I know. We're already got flash floods and flood water everywhere, and now we get snow on top of it. It's typical Kentucky.
Yep.
But anyway, we want to get started. Kind of, how'd you get involved in fishing, and what's the earliest memories you had of fishing? Kind of what you got into fishing and then tournaments. How'd all that happen? I guess start off with.
When I was younger, we had a neighbor that used to go to the lake all the time crappie fishing. He was always coming home with fish, stuff like that. And my dad tried to take me some whenever I was younger. He wasn't always into fishing a whole lot, but I quickly got bit by the bug as soon as we went fishing. When I was real young, I caught a big crappie. We took it home, and Dad filleted it up, and the neighbor come over and looked at it, and he said, "Good God, where did you get that crappie at?" He said, "At that pond over the hill behind that barn." He said, "Well, I fish for crappie a lot, and that's probably a state record you just filleted right there." And I was like, "Oh man." So, yeah, I was like, it was fun, fighting that fish. It was wild. And, I just loved fishing since I was younger, and Dad used to try, take me whenever we could. And, just loved it from day one.
Oh, absolutely. I same way, man. My grandpa used to take me, and I got the bug early. I mean, he went every weekend. I got the bug early.
Nice.
And how that transition that you kind of figured I want to try the tournament thing. What kind of got you led into fishing tournaments and kind of getting more into it?
All right. Well, later on, we moved close to my grandparents. Had a pond in front of my house. That was like heaven on earth, man, for a young guy. So I was so into fishing, I would take my rod and reel with me down there and wait for the bus to come, and I would fish. When I heard the bus coming, I would hide my fishing stuff so nobody would know where I hid it at, and grab my backpack, get on the bus. As soon as the bus dropped me off, I was right back to fishing, threw my backpack down, and stayed down there as much as I could. And I just always loved it, man. Just bass fishing, just the way they attack the bait and stuff. And I got to see them come up and hit them top waters and everything. And growing up, I used to watch all the good old favorites. I'm a little older than what you put me off to be. I'm 47, but thank you, Rob. I appreciate it.
Hey, you're still younger than me, man. Hey, you're still younger than me, so I give you credit.
I'll take it all day long. But yeah, I used to get up on Saturday morning and used to watch, all the good shows, Hank Parker and the General and, everybody, Bill Dance, all those shows on Saturday morning. It was either watch it or hope you found a VCR tape and didn't record over somebody's stuff, right?
So, exactly. I remember those days.
Rather than take the risk and, dig for a tape, I just got up on Saturdays, and instead of going to school, I got to go to, school watching them guys, and I'd stay there watching the shows till they went off and go fishing. And I used to ask for a subscription to Bassmaster Magazine for Christmas. That's every time they'd ask me, "What do you want?" Subscription to Bassmaster Magazine. You get the cool little pouch and some fades and sticker, and it made you look like an official, card or whatever member. And I read through those magazines all the time and looked at those guys wearing the sew-on patches back then, and I was like, you know what? I want to do that one day, and so, it just really excited me about the thought of being able to do that for a living and stuff. I just thought that was so awesome. And so, I always had that in the back of my mind. Didn't have a whole lot growing up. I always thought it was kind of like basketball. They hand you a ball and say, here's a contract and you're a pro now. We're paying you a bunch of money. And I found out later on that's not how it works. Fishing, unfortunately, is, like racing. You have to go out and get sponsors, and some of them drop off, and you drop them, or they drop you, and there's a huge dynamic there between all that stuff, keeping up with it, and trying to make that happen. So later on, I didn't really know how tournaments worked. I just seen a flyer. Rob, you've been there before down at Pro Bass down on Highway 90.
Many times.
I seen a flyer there, and it said tournament Saturday morning, whatever. And I was like, you know what? I want to do a tournament of some kind. I've seen these, and it might have been, actually, I think it was at Backwaters. I take that back. It was at Backwaters where I found that flyer. I remember now. But anyway, seen that flyer, and I thought, man, I've always wanted to go to one of these. I don't know what it consists of or, what, but I'm going to get up and I'm going to grab my fishing gear and go down there and see if there's an empty spot in a boat. I guess that's what you do. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I got up and took my stuff down there and told the guy at the table that was taking money, I'd like to fish today if somebody don't have a partner or something. And, I don't really know how this works. And he said, well, just stand over here to the side. We'll see if we can't find you somebody. And there was a real nice guy that took me fishing on my first tournament, Leroy Gosser. He owns a sign company here in Somerset. Real good Christian man. He walked up, asked him if he had anybody. He said, no. He said, this young man like to go with you. Would you mind? And he said, well, I don't care. Put him in a boat. So I hopped in with him, and he ended up catching a fire out of some big smallmouth here at Lake Cumberland. And, man, you talking about set me on fire with it. I just couldn't quit thinking about it. I mean, it was awesome. He got big fish that day, and we had won some prizes and stuff like that. It was really cool. And I never had really had the opportunity to really go out on the lake much. I mean, didn't really know too many friends that had bass boats and stuff. They all had partners and ones that did. So, that was really something special to me. And I got to looking into things more and more, and heard about the BFLs.
Yep.
And I was like, hey, I wouldn't mind to learn about this. And I've thankfully got some good friends, some common friends, Josh Lockard, he was on here a while back.
Oh yeah. Great guy.
Josh and a few other friends of mine told me a little bit how those worked, and I went and checked those out and read over all the rules and all that, and decided to fish as a co-angler in the BFLs because I've got a boat, but it's a 96 Pro Craft. It's 20-foot older boat. I could fish them, out of it or whatever. But as far as going to a lot of lakes, I really haven't went just local Kentucky lakes, really, where I kind of know where I'm running. So fishing some of these real shallow places and shallow lakes that I don't know, kind of was one of those things. I was like, I'll just fish co-angler, see how this goes. So, so I ended up fishing the BFLs as a co-angler 1 year. And then as Josh told me more about the Toyota series, I was like, well, I think I'll maybe fish those. There was quite a few bucket list lakes, on that 1 year right there, that I signed up for, and went and fished those. I was like, man, I've always wanted to fish Gunnersville. I've always wanted to fish, I think it's Chickamauga that year. First year I fished them. And which Chick isn't that far. I probably could just drive there anytime I want. But, Gunnersville was a special trip for me. I never really had been that far out of state to go fishing. Kentucky Lake's 4.5 hours from me here at Lake Cumberland, so not that much farther of a drive, but still it was something different for me. I never had fished Gunnersville. It's a legendary lake. It was on my bucket list, so done that, fished there, with that year that me and you and Coach stayed together.
Yeah, that was a blast, man. That was a blast.
Oh, it was, man. It was a real good time. And if you ever need a room anywhere, John, Rob is the guy to find you the Airbnbs.
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky over the years. That place we had was pretty neat. It was close to the lake, and man, it was pretty cool.
Yep, you done an excellent job, buddy. I was happy with all of it.
I should have been a travel agent. I should have been I missed my calling.
Yeah, there you go.
That was my job for the Oneida Lake tournament that Jeremy came up. Him, Scott Noel. We had, I think, 6 or 7 boats. And up around me in New York, there aren't that many houses that can hold that.
Yeah.
But it did. And we were pretty much right on the water. But
yeah, it's hard to find a good house around Gunnersville. You have to do some digging, and you got to get to it early. So,
I mean, there's enough pro fishermen there. Just call them up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So,
but
Jared, do you mind talking, telling us a little bit about the story behind Diehard Angling and what caused you to start that?
Yeah. So whenever I started to fish the BFLs, I thought about products that I really like to use. Line that I've went through a bunch of different lines and had my own favorite line that I like to use, and baits I like to use, companies that I felt good about being behind. And I reached out to quite a few of them, told them, I said, hey, I'm, a mature guy. I got a family, whatever, and looking to go fish this year. I want to know about working with you guys and stuff. And, it's one of those things. First question I got was, well, what's your social media numbers look like? And I really didn't put out videos or anything at the time, and, whatever. So I was like, I've got like tons of major pros on my friend list, if that's what you mean, and they were like, no. What's your social media presence, and stuff. And I was like, well, don't really have one, but I can tell you I've done sales before, and I can represent a product, and they said, well, we appreciate you've always used our brand, but call us back whenever you get some more, videos out on YouTube or some kind of social media. So I tried doing that first year I was in the BFLs, and they told me to call back the following year. And I thought, well, I'm stepping it up a little bit, going to these Toyotas.
Yeah.
And I got into the Toyota Bonus Bucks program because I really love Toyotas, and plus, didn't know what the future holds. So I just went ahead and got in it, and I think there's some contingency money there if you win and you pull your own boat. But I don't know about but anyway, I got in that, wanted to get my foot in the door there, and had the vehicle to be able to get in it. And I wanted to try to stay in it in case I decided to go pro or whatever. But everybody I reached out to, it was the same thing. It was, what's your social media numbers? It don't matter what forum you go to online or whatever at most of these companies. Give me all your socials.
Yep.
I'm like, well, I've tried to make some videos, put them out. Not really that great at it. I get a little monotone at times, and sometimes I get real hyper and fired up. But most time I'm a pretty laid back guy. But I done that for a little while and just kept getting the same response from everybody. And I started interviewing these people a little bit. I said, well, how is it so hard for people to get sponsored in some way? I said, I'm not asking for a ton of money or, whatever. I help with some line would be fine with me. I just want to have a mutual ground to start on and build a relationship with your company. And they were like, well, we respect that, but really all of our advertising money is where sponsorships fall. And we spend a lot of money on that, and there's not really room in the budget. And I got that same answer from a lot of different companies.
Oh yeah.
And I figured out the best way to learn how to possibly get a sponsorship was kind of interview them and ask them, how do I get into this, and let them tell you. So
Yeah.
that might be some advice for people, because when I called the next person, it was easier for me to talk. And the next person after that, it was easier for me to talk to them by asking those questions. What do you look for? What does it consist of? What do you want out of the relationship? All that kind of stuff. So it became easier to talk to those people,
Yeah.
Out of that. But when I got to thinking about them saying that most of their money was spent in advertising, that kind of stuck in my head. I was like, well, it's so tough for everybody to get sponsored because of the advertising dollars, and they're all trying to compete and beat each other out of attention on these different platforms. I wonder if there's something that could be done about it. And then the more I got thinking about some of the other social medias I was on, I was like, man, I get tired of seeing this garbage and this garbage and that garbage. I wish I could just see, like, everybody's stats from fishing the tournaments or people's fish they're holding up, and just see fish, fishermen all the time on my news feed and their stories, because I looked at their stuff more than I did a lot of other people that I know stuff, and some of that stuff I don't want to see anyway.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, man, it'd be cool if we had our own social media. So that kind of stuck in my head, And then I got to thinking, well, if I had my own social media, why wouldn't all these companies want to advertise on our platform?
Right.
That would be a good way to bring in business, and it would be good for them. Because when I used to own a tire shop, I found something out about paying for ads and stuff on these social media platforms. I always use this for an analogy. So let's say Rob's holding up a picture, and I always use Aunt Betty as the name here, but Aunt Betty hits like on your fishing photos 2 or 3 times or something. She's probably going to start getting served up ads for fishing stuff.
Yeah.
Aunt Betty's probably not going to buy fishing stuff, most likely. So, these companies are wasting a lot of ad dollars on a lot of these platforms. And I thought, well, if we had our very own unique social media app that they could advertise to people, they would reach people 100% target marketing to the clients that they want to get in front of, fishermen.
Oh, absolutely.
So why wouldn't they want to do business with me? So that was kind of the number 2 thing that popped in my head, or 3 thing there, was just fishing, 100% fishing, 100% of the time. And, it'd be a good place for advertisers, of these companies to save money, and they could probably afford to sponsor people more, or the small businesses could be able to grow more to get to that sponsorship level. And, the more problems that I started putting in a notebook that I figured out, and that other people have told me that they've had trying to get sponsorships and everything, and just about fishing in general, because it's not completely about sponsorships at all. It's just something good for fishermen to be able to be a part of, and some resources and good things for fishermen. So I started thinking about when we traveled over, to the Toyota and all that stuff. I was looking around. I had this page open. Here's Airbnb. Here's VRBO. Here's this campsite over here. And this one's way off away from this ramp where we're taking off at. It's on the other side of the lake. Well, this don't do me no good. So I was looking at that, looking at restaurants, switching back and forth between 13 pages. And I'm like, man, we just need our own map that's got boat ramps on it, that's got, places to stay around there. We can sell that ad space to either Airbnb all the way across the board. They can buy the top spot if they want to. That'd be awesome. If anybody knows anybody that works at Airbnb. But we could have lodging spaces there for people to rent those spaces and keep their places full, and it would show close to the boat ramp that you wanted to stay at. And it don't matter if you go on vacation with your family, if you're just wanting to go on a fishing trip with a buddy or what, you need to know where fuel is, a tackle shop,
Yep.
a marine mechanic, most likely, in case something happens to you while you're there, lodging and food. So those are the main things that I thought about. I was like, that or even guides. I've got guides as something there, because some people may want to just go on a fishing trip with their family or their buddy, whatever. So we're going to sell ad space on all these lakes, all the way around the lake, on those categories. And that way it'll make it a lot easier for people to look at the ramp that they want to stay at, or they're putting in a tournament at, whichever way. And even kayak fishermen and stuff will be able to help us pinpoint different places that might be kayak only that you could put in, or something like that. So it's not going to be just boat ramps. I want this to be for the entire fishing community, no matter what kind of fish that you like to fish for. I mean, I used to catfish and loved it when I was younger, but I like bass fishing now. But I know everybody loves their fishing just as much as I do, no matter what they try to fish for. So I want it to be a good resource, for the entire fishing community. That way all fishermen can get a benefit out of it. And I want to do a lot of cool stuff too that fishermen like. We did do monthly giveaways there for a while. We're going to probably get a sponsor for that again. So I know guys love a good giveaway. So eventually we'll get back into our giveaways. We had a really good sponsor, was giving away about $300 worth of stuff a month. We was giving out 2 prize packages with a pretty big company. They decided they wanted to sponsor more professional anglers and do some other stuff, and they restructured some things within that company. So that changed a little bit, but I'm sure we'll get back to those.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of, it's a robust app. I mean, it's a lot of things in there. It's got an event calendar to help you keep track of where you want to be, and everybody can see where you're going to be, like boat shows, expos, whatever, if they want to do meet and greets. Going to have an events page where the bigger tournament series places, if they want to advertise on our events page, Bassmaster, MLF, MPFL, those guys, if they want to advertise on our events page or boat shows, National Expo brands, whatever wants to advertise on there. So if you was to go there and you say, hey, I'm going to this expo, and you click I'm going, add to calendar, it would add it to your personal calendar to help you keep track of where you need to be at. And it would also show everybody else, hey, he's going to be over here, and then send you a message or reach out to you and say, hey, I'm going to be at that same show. I'd like to hook up, So
cool.
And if you're a pro, it'll help you keep track where you got to be, and it'll let your fan base actually know, where you're going to be at if you want them, to know, hey, I'm going to be here at a certain time. Or if you're an influencer, I want everybody to know where you're going to be at. So got a lot of cool little things, added in like that, just for fun. We've actually got something a little different in the plans and in the works for people that's watched my YouTube video called The Big Picture. They've probably seen this, but I want to actually start an affiliate program whenever we get big enough to attract the attention of these bigger companies. That way, if one of the big companies sign on and you qualify for the affiliate program through us, you can actually put a link in your YouTube videos or put it over on your Facebook. And if somebody uses your link to go buy a product, you get paid commission. A lot of these big companies don't want to deal with that. There's some small rinky-dink programs, for affiliate commissions, but the really big programs cost over $4,000 a month, and it's more guaranteed that you get paid because there's a lot of cookie cleaners and all this as soon as you leave websites and all this. And the way the codes, people forget to put the code in, for a discount code. So those don't always work out, but the really robust programs are very expensive, but they have a high success rate of making sure that people get paid. But I want to offer that to anybody and everybody out here. I mean, a lot of people don't want to do it that are big companies, and they pay other people to manage it. And I'm like, well, we can fill a position when we get to the place that we can hire somebody to do that, and they can keep track of all that stuff. And I won't have to keep as much of the money. I mean, really, I want to do this for everybody else, and I want to be able to go fishing and have the right people in place that are the professionals at marketing and all this other stuff, and be able to leave something behind for my kid, for my kids. I've told a few people this, I don't care to say it. If we were making $1 million a year right now, $100,000 is fine with me. I want to put it back into building Diehard Anglers to be something significant and do something different. I mean, I thought about, other types of things in the industry, and, making baits has always been something that's been interesting and fun and whatever, but I just wanted to do something that would make a bigger impact, something different. Everything's going towards social media.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, if we had a social media that was an ATM that could pump out money, we could put a bunch of different programs together for the anglers, and also eventually give back to charities. Take kids fishing, kids with autism, veterans, things like that. I mean, I think those are very special programs, and I really have that in mind for the future. So
Absolutely. But you almost got like a one-stop shop. You're going to cover the marinas and restaurants. I think it's pretty cool. It's like for individual lakes. You can pull up like Del Hollow and say what marinas are here. So that's a good idea, man. You had some great thoughts in that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, let's get to some of these comments, Rob.
All right. Roll.
All right. JR Spike says hello.
That's my son, Jace. Hey, Jace.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah. Andrew Pulliam says, "What's up, guys?"
All right.
Daniel says, "What's up, Rob, John, and Mr. Jared?"
All right.
Daniel says, "One show that people watch but mention was the Wallace Wildlife Show. Never heard that one.
No, I haven't that either.
That might be a Texas thing."
Yep.
He's saying dad. Ashley Klaus, last night's guest, is saying hello.
There you go. Boater extraordinaire right there.
There
yes,
you go.
She done a great job last
Your
night.
son says hello again.
Yeah, she did. And a couple more here.
Daniel says, "Good to see you guys with an I can. Always loving the subjects guests."
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yes.
And that's the same one.
Oh, same one. I don't know how they're doing two sometimes.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, Boyer?
What's up, Boyer?
Says, "How's it going?" And he's saying preach.
Yeah, I think giving you the thumbs up there.
Yeah, that's
Jeremy
my buddy Frank Boyer. He's awesome, dude.
School of Hard Knocks.
Yep. I agree with Jeremy there. He's been through it.
And
How's it going, Jeremy?
Hello.
Hey, Jeremy, you ready for snow yet, brother? I bet you are.
And he's one more comment. He said we definitely have a diversity of guests.
Yeah, we try to, man, but give everybody their time and space for sure.
That's it.
All right.
Oh.
But what's the? I know you've got your website started and you're still kind of building on some different levels. So how's that going? I know you got it on, and of course you got your merch. And hey, I got a decal from you when you first started. 3 years ago? It's still in my truck. Looks like new, man.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I meant to follow up with you last time and say, hey, how's that sticker looking? Because I want to make sure I use good quality stuff.
You do. Hey, man, it looks like brand new. It's still on there. No fade. It's good as new, man. Matching my truck well, too. But yeah, I know you kind of just starting out and you're still building your website. But where kind of are you at right now? And what are you looking on the future to build up on your website right now?
Well, we've been in beta test for a little while. They've got one more set of code that they want to release, in the beta test, and make sure that works fine so that we can release phase 1 of the app. They told me basically what I wanted just with the maps part. It was like a whole app inside of my app.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I can kind of see where, might take a while to do that. So that's going to be actually phase 2 of the app. So when we release it, the map will be there. It's just we got to sell ad spaces and we got to do different things, to make that actually work and stuff. But phase 1 will be your news feed.
Yep.
And then it'll have, like I said, the maps are on there. You'll be able to post. You'll be able to build your profile out. Profiles look a little different than most platforms. I don't know how much you paid attention to those. I think you got on there, didn't you, Rob?
Oh yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah, they're a little different. You can put your tournament stats in there. Or, if you don't fish tournaments, just put you a bio in there and what you like to fish for. And if you was to have sponsors, you can include your sponsors and your pro staff positions on there if you want to, or you don't have to. You can just put recreational angler whenever you sign up, and it won't even ask you to do any of that stuff, and you just put your bio on there. We tried to build it all around fishing, just very, very specific around fishing, and that's it. I just want it to be a positive environment where we lift each other up. Yep. I can get in some of the good debates, on forward facing sonar and all this other stuff just as well as the next guy, because there's been plenty of that going around. But I can maintain my composure at the same time, where some things I see flying around online, I don't care a lot for. So, I want it to be positive. I don't want, politics being included on there and fighting and arguing and people making fun of each other, bashing each other for the type of fishing that they do or any of that. I want it to be positive. Hey, make some friends. We all are here for the same purpose. We all love fishing. And if you can help lift up somebody else and introduce somebody to fishing, and it looks like a positive environment, a lot of people, I read a study recently, it was done by a big national foundation. They said that the barrier to entry to get into fishing was hard. For one, yeah, there's a cost if you want to go get bass boats and all that. But they said another thing was they didn't know of anybody in their area that actually would teach fishing, show them how to fish. They didn't feel like it was a family-oriented sport or hobby. There was a lot of things that were quite shocking in there, and I kind of can see that depending on where you live at. Yeah. There might not be a lot of people around you that that go fishing, depending on where you live at. So they just didn't really know how to get into it. So I want it to be a positive environment. I think that turns a lot of companies off that are non-endemics. From what I've had a few of them tell me that they looked into the fishing sponsorships and sponsoring people and stuff like that, and they didn't even want to sponsor a tournament and have their name on it because of some of the stuff they seen flying around online. And I just think that we can do better.
Absolutely.
Just start out saying, "Hey, my name's Jared. I don't fish the walleye series," and I think that might help a little bit.
yeah, that might help. That's a good point. Appreciate that, John.
Unfortunately, the negative news outshines the good stuff.
Oh yeah,
always. All walks of life.
Right.
So how does one get signed up for your for Diehard Anglers?
If you want to get on the waiting list, you can go to diehardanglers.com. We have a waiting list there. It'll notify you whenever the app does go live.
Okay.
Sometimes I send out a newsletter, but I really don't spam people much and send out newsletters and emails a whole lot. Maybe 5 in the past year or something, 6. I don't know. Not many in the past year or 2. But it'll notify you. And if you want to go to the shop and check us out, we do have a subscription tackle box. Try to use small company baits and large company baits and different things that you don't get with other boxes. Our box is not just a bunch of baits. It's an experience. So I like to experience fishing. So that's why I call it that. We put other things in the box. that we think anglers will like, that so far have had a pretty good response with. But you can go to diehardanglers.com. Go to the bottom, it says shop. You can go over there and check out our shop. If you're interested in any of that stuff, check it out. We got 2 different ways. You don't have to buy a membership. It'll just save you a little more money if you do. If you want to get a one-time box, that's cool too.
Good.
So how is the bison jerky?
Appreciate it.
Very, very good. Very, very good.
Okay.
I've had some, and it's legit. And I'm a jerky fanatic.
Yeah, I love jerky myself. So Rob gave away one of the little secrets, but we do put unboxing videos on our channel. Some of the stuff that comes in the box, it don't always come in the box. Depends on availability, but the one we've been using is a really good beef jerky. Comes in aluminum cans. When you get done, throw you some sinkers and hooks in there, stick it in your pocket, and reuse it. Just something nice to have while you're out on the lake. If you want to put a little beef jerky snuff in while you're fishing and stuff, just something neat to have.
That sounds interesting. Beef jerky snuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
Just ground up beef jerky.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice flavor. Yeah, they got legit stuff. I've had their bags and their little cans. It's legit jerky. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I really like it. Bearded Bison Beef Jerky is the name of the company.
Yeah.
I really like them.
Do you have a projected time frame to launch?
We run into setbacks a few times. Coding takes a little longer, or there's a glitch in this or a glitch in that. I was hoping to have it ready by January, to be honest, but there was a few setbacks on my end and their end as far as, well, here's what we can do as of right now. I'll let you know when we can do some more, budget-wise. And then on their end, they had a few things that they wanted to tweak and get looking, exactly right before they released this last update to the beta test version.
Okay.
So, and you can't find it on the Play and Apple Store right now because it's running on a beta test version. I had a lot of people ask me, we couldn't find it on the store. So I just want to let that be known out there. It isn't on either of the stores as of yet because it's running on the beta test version.
Right. Getting the bugs out and tweaking a little bit, but it's looking good, man. What you got on there on the beta test is really spot on.
We got a couple more comments here. We'll
appreciate it.
All right. Yep. All right.
Josh Lockard Fishing says, "What's up, guys?"
What's up, Josh?
He was mentioned earlier.
Appreciate you joining in.
Absolutely hammered. One nicest guys here on me. We've had him on the show before. Great guy. Great guy.
Jeremy says he's ready for the first hour of snow.
Good luck with that, Jeremy. Good luck.
Jeremy, I'm just letting you know I got about a half an inch of snow where I'm at.
I'm only getting 8 to 10 tonight, so don't even start, man.
Are you bragging?
No. You can have it all. You can have it all.
Hey, I sent you a picture of my buddy the other day, right?
Oh yeah, that was insane.
He had almost 4 feet on his garage. And Josh says Diehard Angler app is legit.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you, man.
And
there's your boy. Well, he's all over it, Eddie.
Yep, your son's saying hello.
What's up, Jace?
And Troy Mims saying hello with a pretty pink.
There you go. What's up, Troy?
Or or like
magenta.
Call it magenta.
Yeah, there you go. Magenta. There you go. I agree with that.
Magenta.
There you go.
But no, is there a way somebody can get into the beta testing, or is that just a select few?
It's just a select few on the list right now. I do have a pro staff, and Rob here has been helping me. We've been good friends. He's on our pro staff. I heard Jeremy May here speak a while back about pro staff. Stop being pro staff, and I really liked his episode that he was talking about that because I'd told Rob this in the past. There's several companies that I didn't know any better when I first got into this, and was trying to do something. And it made me feel like that Well, if I promoted them enough and made them enough money and showed them I was serious, that they might eventually consider a sponsorship. And some of those companies, that may be the case.
Right.
A lot of those companies, it's purely for sales.
Yeah.
And, you know, a discount's nice. It does help out. You know, not really trying to make all these companies look bad, because I understand it's a great marketing
Yeah.
device. You know, it's a great thing to do. But, like I said, many of them are kind of misleading in the fact that it makes people feel like they might eventually get a sponsorship, and they have maybe 5,000-10,000 people on pro staff, and they don't intend on giving any of them a sponsorship.
Yeah.
So I said, you know, if I have a pro staff, I want it to be different.
Yeah.
The people that help get this out there, because I really don't have an advertising budget, it's just left to the public that believes in what we're trying to do, and our pro staff team really to just share us out and tell people about us and what we're trying to do. That's really all I got, you know. And I'm like, well, if those people help me to get there, when the money does start rolling in, I'm gonna take care of them. You know, I might buy $100 Visa cards and send all of them, be like, Merry Christmas, go shopping. You know, talked to some bigger companies too that said they'd be willing to offer special discount to our pro staff, to actually our users even.
Yeah.
When we get the app launched. So that's something I want to be different. You know, eventually, hey, I'm not worried about Five Islands and all this other stuff like Zuckerberg and a lot of these people have, man. I'm a simple guy. As long as I can earn a decent living and, you know, employ my kids in the future, and maybe get my wife out of her job even, you know, here in a few years or something like that, have her working with me, I'll be fine. I'm gonna put the rest of the money back into programs to help you guys be more successful out here on the water, or when you travel, or somehow, some way. You know, whatever it is, I'm gonna take suggestions and try to do what the people really want in an efficient social media app. You know, so I want to get back to my pro staff people, and eventually, when the money's rolling in, I'd like to be able to spin the wheel and pay somebody's entry fees for a year. Be like, here, let's put some stickers on that boat. You know,
Yep.
if it was doing really, really well, I'd like to have quite a few people sponsored with Diehard Anglers on the side of their boats, paying those entry fees. I'd be happy to if I was making millions a year. You know, why not?
Jared, I'll be happy to do that, but you got to supply the boat as well.
Got to what?
Supply the boat as well.
Oh, I hear you, man. We might be able to talk one of these companies into advertising with us for a giveaway or something like that.
There
If I
you
get
go. You
millions
never
of
know.
dollars, I could probably give one away. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yes, it would.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that, man. But the one thing I'll tell you about your pro staff, you always listen to us, you know, give ideas and bounce stuff off of you. So I think that in itself is great, and not seen and done a lot in our industry. So hats off to you.
I appreciate that.
And Rob is good at giving ideas.
Yeah, maybe crazy ideas, off the wall ideas, but I'll tell you something.
But you know what? I'm crazy enough to try to do that to him.
At least once. Got to try it once, right?
Yeah. So.
It comes up some good ones.
Oh yeah, yeah. I do. Yeah, because you see stuff in the industry, and it's like, why are they doing that? Why don't they do this? And you know, used to, like I'm you, when you first start out, you got sponsors, and you can't talk, or you don't know who to talk to, or you know,
right.
And that I think that's one advantage you got starting out with your pro staff is you actually listen to ideas, and you always ask opinions stuff. So I think that's a good start, man. That's a step in the right direction.
Thank you, appreciate it.
With the app, is the individual going to be responsible for putting all their statistics in it, or is it going to be plugged into like MLF and Bassmaster?
No, the individual will be responsible for that. They can put in, you know, a whole bunch of them, or just put in like maybe their top 3 or whatever. I did suggest pinning the top 3 tournaments that you want to show, and we actually have it collapsible where you can open it up and it'll open way down, or you can bring it back up and just show the top 3, pin them or whatever. So
yeah. But you have the option to personalize it and put stuff you want and pictures or whatever. So I think it's almost like a Facebook page. You can set it up like you want it, look pictures and finishes and what But it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, when we first get started, it's going to be pictures only. When we first get started, won't be able to put video on. The reason for that is the amount of data that I would have to pay for per month, and right out the gate before we get going. I mean, I'm just trying to make it and get it done and get it out there and sell some ad space, living on a business loan basically to try to get it done and get it out there. I mean, it's a huge risk for me, honestly. So pictures is all we're going to have in the beginning. And then as we grow, we'll be able to make it to where that you can put videos on, and, hopefully in the future, we'll be able to go live fishing.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
That'd be awesome.
It definitely sounds like a program that every angler could and should use.
Yep.
One thing I did forget to mention, on Facebook, you have a news feed. Yep. Well, I come up with a thing called a deals feed on our website. So you'll have a news feed, but we'll also have a deals feed. So let's say John goes to his local tackle shop and they've got 50% off brush hogs right now or something, and they're just clearancing out, a bunch of them. Well, he can buy what he wants, and then if that company has a website for their store, then he put the link right there in the deals feed, tell it's 50% off brush hogs, and he could help them to sell out of those baits and move them. That way they can get new inventory in. So it don't matter where you're at online. If somebody finds an actual good sale on something, not just a 20% or something, but something real good,
Yep.
They could submit it to be on the deals feed. That way we all know where it's at, because right now you get 50 pages pulled up. We're just searching one item, and it's like, this place sells it for this and this place sells it for that. And sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't actually sell it for that price. And it's something old from, Black Friday sale or something that shows up. And then when you get there, the price is higher, But if we could centrally locate all those deals, for everybody and put them right there on the deals feed, it would help everybody get great deals. Another thing too, that I've got in mind is the bigger we grow, the more attention that we're going to get, and I say I'm talking to all the anglers on the app. There's 60,000 fishermen, and there's 60 million fishermen in the United States. And the bigger that we get, the more these companies are going to want our attention, right?
Yep.
So they're going to offer special discounts. It's going to be great for us on that. Plus, it's going to help them to move product. So on that, I started thinking, well, if we can attract that kind of attention, maybe we can get these hotel chains or big food chains that are all across the United States, like Wendy's, to come on board and give us discounts. And I got thinking about it, and I thought, man, if I could negotiate with all those companies and try to get discounts on all the things that we use as fishermen, that would be awesome. And maybe make it like $9.99 or $19.99 a month, to where if you went and stayed in a hotel for 3 or 4 nights and saved, actual 20% or something, you would pay for a whole year's membership, like right there, not including possibly fuel or something else. We can get them people on board. So it'd be a no-brainer price. That'd be great for all of our people if we have the leverage and we get built up big enough. That's the whole thing that'll make this all work, really, is having enough people behind what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And I think word of mouth, and it'll snowball. So I think you're on the right track, man.
Same here. We got a couple comments to hit off, and then we're going to ask you a personal question here. Real Talk Bassin says, "What's up, fellas?"
What's up, man? And
Boyer Fishing says, I'm back.
All
So,
right.
boy, thanks for coming back.
Mainline Manny says, a corporate rate for fishermen and hotels. It's a very good idea.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, good to see you again, Manny. Glad you tuned in.
But no, I want to just because I don't personally know you. I was just curious. What's your favorite homemade cookie?
My favorite what?
Homemade cookie.
Homemade cookie. Man, that's a tough one. I kind of had to cut off the cookies whenever I became diabetic here about a year or two ago. But man, that's it. Well, you got to ask such tough questions for me.
That's the toughest question of the night, man. I told you.
Yeah, that's the toughest question of the night. Man, it's kind of hard to pass up the good old, chocolate oatmeal cookies that Mom made, growing up.
Yeah.
So I really do like those.
Yeah, that's hard to beat. You're okay, just so you didn't say snickerdoodle. You're all right in our book.
My wife just took out 5 dozen snickerdoodles.
Really? you didn't get one, man? You didn't get one?
I told her to freeze them for later.
Okay.
No, she had a big order to pass out.
Okay.
I mean, it was like 25, 30 dozen cookies.
Poor guy. He has to smell cookies all the time, and he can't eat them because they're on order. Poor guy.
Well, last night when I had issues where I couldn't walk.
Yep.
And that's why I wasn't on the podcast. I said, can you do me I asked my wife, I said, can you do me a favor and bring me some cookies? And she brought me a bag of sugar cookies.
Wow.
I only had a couple.
Yep.
But they're pretty much the size of your face, so
wow.
Pretty close to it, but no. Jared, we're at the point of the show. We're a little over 50 minutes in. We want to give you a chance to talk about people who have helped you along the way, people who've inspired you, even some of the sponsors. So go ahead and take it away, brother.
Floor is yours.
All right. I appreciate it. I'm thankful my dad took me fishing. That inspired me to get into this in the first place. I'd say if he saw my post on Facebook, he's probably watching. So, Dad, I really appreciate you taking me fishing when I was younger. It changed my life. My kids actually inspire me a lot too. They're really behind, me trying to do a YouTube channel and do my own thing. And my son was on here a minute ago commenting and watching, and I love to take him fishing. Me and him fish tournaments. He just turned 11, but he's been fishing tournaments with me for the last 3 years. They have a little church tournament on Monday night, and to see him get out there and he just keeps hammering whether he's catching anything or not, and he's finally got to where he catches them, and gets them in, so it inspires me to see him happy and be able to do that. And the youth of this country and the future of fishing inspires me a lot because I want people to experience what I've experienced. That's one big reason I'm doing this. When I was growing up, I always said, people should be hooked on fishing, not on drugs. And then later on, I found out there's actually a program out there called Hooked on Fishing, Not on Drugs. And Blues promotes it quite a bit, actually.
Yep.
Is how I found out that was actually out there. But yeah, my friends that have encouraged me, Josh and Boyer that's in here, and my wife, she really is very supportive of what I'm trying to do, and there's a lot to this, a lot of sacrifice. So they're inspiration to me because they're always positive to me, and my friends always put a lot of good words in and try to help me with different things to figure out things that we should do with the app, and encourage me to just keep on going. You'll get it, get it done. Rob has really been there for me a few times, so appreciate you, Rob.
No problem.
And I appreciate all supporters, people that follow us on TikTok and Facebook, here on YouTube and over on Instagram. I will say too, the only person that I actually got as a sponsor before I actually started doing any of this was J Bros Lures. And Larry is a very good man. He was getting started new, and I told him I'm not no big pro. I'm just a adult man with a family. I love fishing. I'll try to get you out there the best I can. And Larry has stuck with me and inspired me and helped me out. And I try to do the same thing for Larry. I try to get some of his baits, put them in our subscription boxes. You know, we rotate. It's not always the same thing every month. We're trying to work with some other companies as well. But I definitely want to give Larry at J Bros Lures a shout out. If you all don't know them, they got some really unique baits, really unique ones. Go check them out. They're awesome baits. You know, and good Lord Bub's my faith, man. I don't say that a lot, you know, out publicly, but people that know me know that that's where my faith lies, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him and if it wasn't for fishing. Honestly, it saved my life. So,
Yep. Absolutely.
All
And
right.
hey, man, I'm gonna give you some credit too. The job I'm at now, I don't think I'd be there, but one time you told me, says, "Man, I could see you doing sales, being in sales." So hats off to you, man. You gave me some confidence. I thought that started, wheels started, the old gear started turning. And said, I may can do that. And man, it's been a great career move, man. I love being in sales and helping
that's
people
awesome,
out
man.
and just talking fishing every day. So yeah, God put me in that place, and I'm thankful, man. And you was one of the ones that kind of got me thinking that way. So hey, man, I appreciate you.
You're very welcome, man. That's awesome. I
All
knew
right.
you'd be good at sales.
Yeah, you was right, man. I'm pretty good. I almost been there a year now, so I must do something right.
Yeah. I appreciate you as well, Rob.
Thank you, brother. I always got you back, man. But Jared, hey, we're gonna be tuning in, and man, when you get that app, I know you're doing steps every day. You're growing and growing, and you're gonna get there, man. And it's gonna be awesome to see you grow and start off just from my idea you had. I remember you said you had it wrote down on a notebook pad, and to take that to where it is today and even higher, it's gonna be great, man. I'm gonna enjoy the ride and see it grow.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I stuck everything in a notebook when everything finally clicked, and I'm like, well, here's how we could have a well-oiled machine that would actually be able to fund all these crazy things that I want to do to help people out and make a big change in the industry, you know. So I was real excited about it, and then I realized, oh yeah, that takes a lot more money than my pocketbook because I don't make much money. So
Right.
I stuck it in a drawer and started the tire business, started doing mechanics and new and used tires. And a couple of years into that, 2.5 years into it, I just wasn't really happy no more. I mean, dealing with the public isn't always, in certain businesses, is,
Yeah.
you know, not always fun.
Oh yeah.
And having employees is not always fun. Me and my business partner didn't exactly agree on management style, stuff like that. We were friends since we were young. He was a great guy, but you know, we just thought different on those things and a lot of different things. Just I wasn't really happy doing that no more, and told him, I said, I'd like to do something else, man. I'd like to shut this down. And he said, that's fine, man. He said, I'll sell cars out front here and you know whatever, because he had a car lot out front. And then we ended up finding out shortly after we shut the car lot or the tire part down that he had terminal cancer.
Ooh.
He was a really good Christian guy, good friend of mine, excellent guy. Everybody loved him. And seeing him go through that, man, um, made me realize, what am I waiting on?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't have the money. I can take a risk and go out here and get business loans, but you only live once. And I believe if you're doing the right thing for the right cause, for the right reason, and that's for people to be able to enjoy fishing and be able to give back to causes and help people and do something good, that I believe people will get behind that. And my gut told me, and a lot of prayer told me to go for this.
Yep.
I follow my gut and I follow my prayers. What the Lord tells me is a go or no go, and that's what He told me. So I decided to go for it. I didn't want to waste any more time in my life. I figure you only got one chance to try. and see what happens, see what kind of impact you can leave on this world, because you ain't gonna be here for long.
Yep, just a flash, man. But hey, man, you're making a difference, man, and we're gonna follow you and support you any way we can, man. And I said I think it's gonna grow, and you're gonna get there, man. Just keep on, keeping on, keep on keeping on, as my old preacher used to say.
I appreciate it, man. I'm much support as I can get from people just, subscribing to us and following us, hitting like on stuff, and growing my following, will help attract, more of the companies that might want to do giveaways for you guys. And hopefully I'll get monetized on those channels eventually, and might bring something in that, would help out a little bit. So,
Absolutely. And you got some good merch out there, so check out the merch.
Appreciate it. I hope to eventually be big enough to be able to bring that merch to my hometown, and maybe support, employing some people here locally. Right now I have to go through a company because I can't afford to keep all the colors and sizes and all that, so we don't really make as much on it. But everything, we're grateful for everything that people do buy and support us with, and in the future hopefully we can bring those jobs here locally and be able to grow that too. So
yep, hey, that's a great plan, man. I like that. That's awesome.
Well, thank you very much for coming on, and if there's anything we can do to help you out, just let us know, and I'm sure we'll do that for you.
I appreciate it, guys. It's just support. Like I said, I couldn't do it been this far with what I've done without all the support of the fishermen that support Diehard Anglers on all the social medias. So thank you all for buying into my vision and wanting to be a part of something. We're going to try to do something that really nobody's ever seen. Nobody's ever used the social media to give back before like this, or a niche social media either. There's never been one. So come on with me, jump on the train, and let's make some history.
Let's do it, man. Sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, you take care, Jared, and I know you'll be successful in this. So you take
care. All right, appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much for having me on.
We'll have you on again. You give us some updates on the website later on, and we'll be following you, man. And best of luck to you, man. And just keep on what you're doing.
All right. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right. See you, buddy. All
right.
See y'all.
All right. See you.
Have a good one.
All right.
Well,
yeah, he's taken a long way in just a short time. So he's got some good plans, great ideas. So it's gonna be interesting to grow.
Yeah, I'm excited for him.
Oh, absolutely, man! It's gonna good things are coming and great things, and it's gonna grow like a weed. I guarantee you.
And for those of you out there watching, I did get confirmation from the marriage counselor, Mr. John Sokup. He will be available Thursday. He'll be on our podcast 8 o'clock on Thursday, talking about jig fishing.
Awesome. Well, always look forward to having him on, and he's killing it on social media. I mean, his posts are like hilarious. So he's always interesting. Got an interesting take on fishing and matrimony.
And we are not responsible for what he says or does.
We have to put that little disclaimer like they have on the TV shows. The following views are not the views of the following news channel or something.
The following comments are not the views of the channel.
Or his own, not ours. So yeah.
Well, I'll do it again tonight for you, Rob. Y'all take care, and see you tomorrow.
Peace.